the keynote speaker for this evening. Her name is Crommett, and she is currently a senior from Orange County, California. So I'm sure she's just relishing in this early snow here in South Bend. She's studying business management with a focus on entrepreneurship and a double major in film, television, and theater with a focus on film. Caitlin is the executive producer of NDTV here on campus. NDTV is a student-run station airing 24 hours a day throughout the school year. There are many types of programming, from dorm cooking shows, student interviews highlighting issues being talked about on campus, and ND News updates. Caitlin was the creator of one of the most popular shows on NDTV, The Irish Bachelorette, a series that aired last fall based on the reality show with ND students. So they can have very high SAT scores but still have a little fun. Caitlin has interned for ABC and the Katie Couric Show, as well as Wayfarer Entertainment in Hollywood, and also the Cannes Film Festival in Cannes, France. And last spring, Caitlin spent the semester abroad studying at King's College in London. In high school, Caitlin founded the nonprofit organization Dream Catchers. Dream Catchers works to grant the last wishes of hospice patients. From organizing family reunions to setting up hot air balloon rides, Dream Catchers truly brings joy to those suffering from a terminal illness. To better understand Dream Catchers and Caitlin's work, we would like to first show you the What Would You Fight For ad that aired in 2012 called Fighting to Develop Great Leaders.
Mick Barnes is a retired oil worker, a Korean War veteran, and a poet. He's been married to his wife Alice for 50 years. Mick is dying of emphysema, and his dream is to have one last family reunion where he can read his poetry to his children and grandchildren. They're spread out all over the country, and because they can't all afford to travel, he hasn't seen them in over 3 years. So what do we think, guys? Is this a dream we can make come true?
Notre Dame sophomore Caitlin Crommett is the founder of Dream Catchers, a volunteer organization that works with hospice caregivers to fulfill the dreams of terminally ill patients. Caitlin started the program at the age of 15.
I started Dream Catchers because I saw how all too often the elderly are overlooked by our society. These are the people who have shaped our communities and raised us, and I really believe that all of one's life, especially the end, is something to be cherished and celebrated.
Over the past year, Caitlin has expanded Dream Catchers to 25 programs in 10 states through the support of Notre Dame's Hesburgh-Usco Scholars Program, a merit-based scholarship that provides mentorship and resources to a group of visionary undergraduates.
What makes the Hesburgh-Usco program distinctive is that we place a heavy emphasis on service. Our program is based on the core belief that each person can truly make a difference.
Okay, I call this my hometown. It's a little old town dependent on oil, acres of sagebrush on alkali soil, quaint little houses primarily. It was really a night that I'll always remember, always. Makes me feel truly blessed.
The University of Notre Dame asks, what would you fight for?
Fighting to develop great leaders.
We are the Fighting Irish.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for having me here. I'm honored to be sharing my story with such a distinguished group of people, so important to our university. I wanted to start off by saying that my story is not the typical grew up with Notre Dame, dreaming of coming here my whole life story. I actually didn't really even know what Notre Dame was until my senior year of high school. I went to a public school in Southern California, so it wasn't exactly a common to Common applied to school from there. Lucky for me, though, I received a postcard in the mail. It read, "Apply to the Hesburgh-Yusko Scholars Program. Applications due November 15th. I got that on November 20th. So all hope was lost, but only temporarily. I started looking into it. Why did I get this postcard? And ultimately fell in love with the program, so I wouldn't accept that I had missed the deadline. Luckily, it only took about one email for me to be able to apply, albeit a little late. Anyway, fast forward 5 months, and I'm setting foot on Notre Dame's campus for the first time. I was being treated like a celebrity, except with the thought of life-determining interviews looming over my head. I fell in love with this place as soon as I set foot here. I mean, how could you not? It's a common theme here. And from then on, I wouldn't accept going to any other school. Luckily, I grew up in a family where if we get our mind set on something and we grow a passion for it, then it can be done. Nothing is too far-fetched or too hard. It even goes to the extreme sometimes. My mom convinced me I could write a personal letter to Jay Leno to work on his show. Needless to say, that one didn't work out. Again, fast forward a few weeks, and I am on the phone with my mom, receiving the letter from the Hesburgh-Yusko Scholars Program. I burst into tears as soon as I read the first word, "Congratulations." And my fate was sealed. I knew from then on I had become a Domer for the rest of my life. I should probably get to the reason I'm here, and the reason that I am so in love with this school built on service, leadership, and passion. In high school, at 15, I started Dreamcatchers Foundation, which you saw a little bit about in the What Would You Fight For ad. We fulfilled the final dreams of hospice patients, and these Dreamcatchers clubs are made up of high school and college-age students all across the country. Dreamcatchers began as an idea I had to try and make the end of one's life more celebrated, more cherished, and a little bit more fun. The very first dream I granted was for a man named Bernie. Bernie was in love with the ocean. He sailed his whole life. Unfortunately, he was diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease, so that severely decreased his mobility, his vision, his eyesight, his hearing. So he hadn't been able to go out on the water for some time. It was his dream to get out here one last time on the water, to feel as alive as he had felt his whole life out there. So we planned this day. We invited his closest family and friends from all over the country who flew in for this couple of hours out on a crisp September day in Dana Point Harbor, California. His wife was telling me when we got there that she hadn't seen him smile in months, but on that day I never knew a Bernie who didn't smile. He talked about it for the rest of his life. A few months later, Bernie passed away. What made this dream so memorable to me, other than the fact that it was my very first dream I had granted with Dreamcatchers, was that I grew very close to the family. So when Bernie passed away, they invited me to his memorial service, which they ended up holding on the same sailboat that we took him out on that day. And they scattered his ashes out on the sea, which was his true home. This dream gave me the confidence and the passion to continue Dreamcatchers. And from then on, I knew that I wanted to affect as many lives as possible like I had with Bernie and his family. What started as a 10-person club at my high school has now grown to a national foundation in over 15 states with over 35 branches. All of that is thanks to Notre Dame and the resources we were provided with here and the mentors we were given to help us reach our goals. Through the Hesburgh-Yusko Scholars Program, I was able to travel all over the country 2 summers ago, expanding Dreamcatchers to high schools, colleges, and hospices in each area. Since then, it's continued to grow even bigger than I had ever even imagined. Just this past summer, I took a week out of my internship to check up on the clubs around the country to offer support. One of our strongest clubs, interestingly enough, is in Pahokee, Florida, which is a tiny town 3 hours from any big city, which in this case was Tampa. Its leader, Kelly, saw my What Would You Fight For ad while she was watching a Notre Dame game a couple years ago and immediately reached out to me, passionate about this idea of getting a Dreamcatchers club going in her tiny town. Since then, she's grown her club to the largest one at her public high school, and her whole community has become aware and so supportive of her organization. She even convinced her friends from nearby towns to pick it up, and her friends that were graduating to take it to college with them. When I arrived in Pahokee to visit her with my dad, 3 hours later, Kelly, her principal, and a few others from the top administration greeted me. I visited the nursing home, the library, and a few other places in this small town, and was constantly approached by community members who somehow knew my name and wanted to take a picture with me. I'd never felt more like a celebrity in my life. Kelly had created this club that soon became an identity for this small town. They rally around the Dreamcatchers Club Kelly has created, and it's one of their most prized groups. Visiting Pahokee gave me a renewed passion for Dreamcatchers, that we can make the biggest difference even in the smallest towns. It showed me there's no limit to the amount of lives we can affect, and where there's a vision, a passion, as in Kelly's case, people will flock and people will get involved. Notre Dame, luckily, is of the same mindset. Where there's passion, will, vision, there is a way. Everyone I meet seems to be of this same mindset too, which makes me never want to leave here. I'm a film and theater and entrepreneurship double major. I do get a lot of weird looks when I say this. Since the success of Dreamcatchers around the country, I've become passionate about the methods that helped me achieve this success through short films, commercials like you saw here, news segments, and media most significantly. My passion, originally for acting, has recently taken new form. I want to be able to do for others what so many have done for me in my journey to spread Dreamcatchers and help highlight the stories that matter to making this world a better place. I'd planned to start a company where I would use my skills and interests to create short films for these organizations and people doing amazing things around the country and people making a difference to society. There are enough bad stories out there, so I wanted to be part of this movement to take over this majority with good, inspirational, life and world-changing stories. After working at the Katie Couric Show, I met the founder of a organization called Wayfarer Entertainment, and I was able to intern for basically my dream company this past summer in Los Angeles. Get this, their mission statement is to provide socially conscious content and elevate the human experience while inspiring. How much more fitting does it get? Through Notre Dame and Hesburgh-Usco's help, I was able to intern with the company of my dreams for the summer while still spreading my dream of growing Dreamcatchers nationally. I want to give more people like Mick Barnes from the video you just saw a chance to share their lives, their stories, their dreams with those that mean the most to them, and maybe even with the whole world. Since being here at Notre Dame, I've had the chance to help make dreams come true for people everywhere, while also making my own dreams come true. Now, if that doesn't sound like the perfect fit, I don't know what is. Thank you.